It looks like it will be a colorful Davos, although I can't really be sure that the audience will actually like this America First rhetoric.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's going to be really interesting to see play out. I mean, over the last year, what the sort of Davos glitterati have learned is that essentially the roles have been reversed. You have China's President Xi Jinping arguing for more globalization, and then you have President Trump ostensibly arguing for less. He's backed out of certain multilateral deals, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Paris Climate Accord, all of these sort of multilateral institutions and agreements that Davos tends to like. So we'll really see. I mean, this is certainly on the surface. There is a counter argument which says, okay, you have this noise from the two sides, but the U.S. is still where the money is. The U.S. is still the biggest market, the most important trading partner in the world. And for all of the president's rhetoric, you're not really seeing money flows change that much. So they may sort of take what the president says with a grain of salt. But it is expected to be a pretty fiery speech that he gives, likely targeting China's trade practices.
So, Nick, as far as you can tell, why is he doing it? I mean, does he think he's going to change people's minds, or does he just like the conflict? Or what's a win for the president in Davos?
Well, I think a very strong America First speech that reiterates a lot of the themes he's had over the past, how the U.S. has been a victim of unfair, as he sees it, multilateral trade agreements. For his base, that'll be like catnip going to sort of stick it to Davos man, as it were.
So we're hearing that President Xi Jinping, at least he's not attending, but the delegation is huge. What will that dynamic look like?
Well, I mean, this is a very interesting shift, and it sort of reflects what you see from China, sort of more going out into the world. You know, the Chinese strategy for years, for decades really, has been to sort of bide their time. Now it seems to that the time is now for China to sort of go out into the world and to echo this theme. And when you see a big delegation like that, what that really means is obviously meetings. So meeting with other foreign leaders, making themselves accessible, trying to sort of fill the void that the United States will be leaving as President Trump looks to pull the U.S. out of a lot of these international pacts.
So, Nick, is there some common ground the president can try to find, for example, on cybersecurity or fighting terrorism?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this would necessarily be the venue for him to do that. I think what you're likely going to see is a really tough message on trade, and specifically on trade with China. We're expecting quite a lot of news to come out where the administration will basically issue a report and certain punitive action on China over what it sees as unfair trade practices. I mean, there will likely be the sort of standard affirmations of the importance of international consensus and things like that, but I think you'll really see a sharp edge in this speech.